My first introduction to Housing Hope was when Ed Peterson asked me if I could help find a way to raise funds to renovate the Crossroads apartment building up on Rucker Hill in Everett. So I got a group of friends together, and Ed suggested that we take a tour, and we went up there, and it was in just a sad state of disrepair. But we went into one room that was nearly done. That room was about 400 square feet. It was very small. And he told me that a family of 4 would be living here. And I couldn't believe it. I said, Ed, how can 4 people exist in this tiny little space? And he stopped and he turned around and he said, it's bigger than living in your car. That was my aha moment. And I knew at that point, being in the housing field, that I needed to find a way to not only sell houses, but to have people who really had no hope of ever having a roof over their head find a place to live. And I've been a believer ever since.
Providing housing and services is important because, for me, I take for granted the fact that I've always had a home to live in, a roof over my head, and food to eat. If you think about the organizations that provide housing, I just think Housing Hope does it better than anybody. They're efficient, they're effective, and our community is better because of them.
And I think Housing Hope has earned the label, the go-to organization in the city, in the community, not just the city of Everett, but all around the county. They're the go-to organization for solving a lot of the problems, the issues with homelessness. Other social service agencies refer to them. Everyone knows Housing Hope, and they've earned that, and they use their services in coordination with the housing problem solution so well.
So this is the review I got from last week from your supervisor. So we're just going to go over it really quick. We do this every 2 weeks since you've been in the training position with Groundworks. And I get my feedback reports from your supervisor.
We love Housing Hope.
One more time. What I like about Housing Hope is that they just provide more than shelters. You know, Maddie and I talk a lot about the community and what our needs are, and the shelter is a huge issue, obviously, but providing opportunities for education and workforce experience where they can make a living wage is really critical. And then I keep talking about the idea that they provide daycare, and then the whole inner network of Housing Hope with all the support systems in place is really what makes this whole program successful.
Yeah, it's all the wraparound services. It's not just the housing, it's the, like Joe said, it's the daycare, it's the life skills training, it's the job training, it's the opportunity, as I keep saying, to earn a living wage salary, which is really important because people can't get out of homelessness unless they can actually pay for rent. That will give them, you know, the money in the door to get them out of homelessness.
Housing Hope is a terrific partner in breaking the cycle of unemployment. Housing Hope brings to people an opportunity to become work ready, teaches them basic goals, provides the basic education, helps them with the initial steps into employment. Housing Hope's a great partner with WorkSource and with the Workforce Development Council in Snohomish County. Housing Hope introduces those people to WorkSource where we can help them get their initial jobs or get their next job, and ultimately that engagement with the system helps them in their career progression. A key piece of that career, of that job, a key piece of that job, a key piece of that career progression is the housing. These people who are engaged in this process have a place to go at night. They're not concerned in the middle of the day while they're working, while they're thinking about what they're doing, where they are going to go at night, they have a house. That house gives them a home base from which to work, and they take care of their family and go back to their job the next day, and it builds and it builds and it builds, and that house leads to a job, and the job leads to a career, and the career leads to stronger families, and all of that leads to ending unemployment.
Carrot. You dropped a carrot.
It's really important in the child development programs to teach the children the skills that they're learning, and also for them to be able to see their parents grow and succeed. We're helping parents become role models for children. And if these programs weren't there, it's more than likely that they would not have the same kind of role model and the same kind of success as an adult.
Well, I can look at this from a little bit of a different perspective too. I see Tomorrow's Hope Child Care Center as being a place where parents can see children being successful and learn more skills themselves. So in a way, our center and the children become teachers for the adults, because they're learning pro-social skills, they're learning anger management, they're learning problem solving and finding solutions. And in some ways, it works both ways, is that it's, again, wraparound services, and it's very reciprocal in that children are also becoming models for their families, as is the whole program.
Good job.
Well, when we really focus in on the impact of homelessness on children, we're going to see issues affecting their education, affecting their health, affecting their stress levels, their immune system. We're going to see problems with their coping skills, and we're going to see long-term impacts on stability and attachment for children that really have to spend many years recovering and figuring out what stability and attachment looks like and what it means. And then there's this concept of, instead of working on learning your ABCs, you're trying to figure out how you're going to get your next meal. You know, that's a really different developmental stage for these children. They're sort of launched out of their developmental normal stages and put into these stages that are really confusing. And what Housing Hope does very well is it helps bring the families and the children back to a place where what we're dealing with are just normal developmental tasks. There are staff around them, there are case managers supporting them, and families are given a chance not just at shelter, but at long-term stability, so that they can rebuild their lives, strengthen their lives, and move forward with all their own assets and strengths. And as they are able to do that, children are able to get back onto what would be normal developmental tasks. And the delays and the trauma that they've experienced from the homelessness can come to an end. It can stop, and they can recover, they can heal, and they can rebuild their lives, and they go forward. And they have a bright, stunning future in front of them.